Hello, all my Saskatchewani folks. How are you all? And the rest of you Canadians. How is everyone doing tonight? It's not every day that I see the word Saskatchewan, so I always have to say it. Do I miss home? Yeah, not anymore. In the beginning, maybe a little bit. All right, are you ready for an all things Canada Q&A? Please, we got many people on here that have not introduced themselves yet. So please do that. Just enter in you got to start the chat and obviously has your name. Just tell us where you're from. Well, any of the U.S. folks here are hiding right now. I think they say, oh my God, it's all the Canadians. Hey, Laura, how are you guys? Yes, it's coming in February. All right, so we're going to get started very shortly here. So I still show 1 minute 2. Now they're coming in. Hey, Melanie, you texting you? Us Canadians see a lot of texts because all the guys from the West fly through Houston because it's a great connection. Do you guys like my Canadian background? Couldn't find anything else more Canadian than that. And what can you get here in Panama? Well, you can get maple syrup. That's about it. I've seen Canadian whiskey, but not Canadian beer. Maybe someone else has. The poutine, yeah. Forgot the poutine. Probably because, Kevin, I find it disgusting. I'm sorry, I can't handle the poutine thing. It's crazy. So, I didn't change our names. It is not Oscar, Megan, and Rod tonight. It is Rod. Oscar just starting a tour. Megan has the night off, and I said I'm taking next week off, and they are going to be with you next week. I thought there was a hockey stick in here somewhere. No, there wasn't. We have a Tim Hortons in Panama City now. Just one so far. I haven't tried their coffee to see if it's actually good compared to Canada's. The Canadians hate me now. Sorry. You learn if you're a coffee drinker, coffee lover in Panama, like I was, when I was back home, I drank a lot of coffee. It's just so amazing here. I got a big espresso machine, and I buy. I go to the markets and throughout town and buy from the little guys that grow on their 10, 20 acre farms. So there are ways to watch NHL. And Sue, how are you guys? All right, we're going to get going. It is, okay, we got a pretty big crowd here. Welcome to all your Facebook and YouTube viewers. Lots of you. Welcome. So many of you guys, I see a lot of names I just don't know. Did some heavy marketing to Canada on this one. So I am going to introduce ourselves, who we are and what we're doing. And this is going to be a wide open, I have a presentation, but I'm not going to go through it and make you listen. We're going to start with questions right away. Ian and Sue is going to be my first one of how to get Canadian TV down here and stuff like that. So, I'm going to tell you about us, who we are and what we do. Let me share the screen and we'll keep that bottle of Canadian on the side. There we go. Oh, let's just. Okay, we are retired in Panama tours. Now, not just retire, we do young people too. We do move to Panama. We offer 7-day cross country trips. And these are small groups between 12 and 15 people. We offer 3-day Cherokee Highlands tour in the province of Cherokee. If you want to live in a cooler highlands area, that includes Boquete, Volcan, places like that. And we now offer our new Panama Total Access Pass. For those of you who don't want to do a tour or can't get on our tours because they're sold out or the dates don't line up, that's the product that you can get because you still have access to us. And who are we? There's our picture. That's me and, well, yeah, you see me. You know what I look like. And my business partner, Oscar, and his wife, Megan. Now, we have been doing this, and I got to update these, but yeah, I think it's 15 years now. Oscar started 15 years ago doing relocation tours. In fact, he was my relocation guide when I arrived in Panama 13 years ago. Saved my butt too. And I got a story for that. I usually tell our groups about that. We'll have over 30 combined years experience helping expats move to Panama. We've done over 125 tours and private relocation groups, and we have a lot of happy customers. So that's what we do. Again, we're small groups. We have the expertise. And the biggest thing we offer that some of our, that we offer is the after tour support. When you're done the tour, no matter when you decide to move, whether it's the month after or 5 years after, you have full access to us to help you make that move happen. So that is us. And like I said, our tours are 7 days cross country, 3-day Cherokee Highlands, and the Panama Access Pass. The Panama Access Pass, we'd like to talk about it. It's new. It's also limited sales, just like tours. There's only 10 of each product sold per month. We have 2 or 3 of the platinum, and I believe it's 3 of the gold left right now. When they're sold out, you got to wait till June 1st. Now, what it is, and of course, I left the feature of the product on the other side of the room. I apologize. It is the 450-page and growing. It's 470 pages and hardcover bound, 64 chapters, 200 sub-chapters, over 100,000 words of everything you need to know about Panama and everything to do. And then we have our members area. This is a quick preview for members only, but this is what it looks like. I happen to be logged in. That's why I can see it. If you're not logged in, if you don't have login access, you don't see the members area button. And it's just all these different connections. Our Rolodex. Okay? And as far everything from getting your immigration to planning your will and estate here in Panama. So that is all in the members area. And then what you also get with the Panama Access Pass, as we said, it is the book. Oops, back. Yeah, I'm showing, telling everyone, oh, look at the members area. Okay, what you get. Why is that not coming up? There we go. Sorry, guys. I'll do this one more time. You get the book. I just showed you the members area, and you get the 3 of us. So you actually, if you purchase one of these Panama Access Passes, whether gold or platinum, you get a Zoom call with us. You get priority email support, platinum access. You'll get a WhatsApp numbers and multiple Zoom calls. And that's the product. And again, that members area, just list down. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'll show you the basics. So if you want this, if you click on immigration, you go to the page that has all the contact to connect you to the immigration These are people we've used for 12 years, folks. We know they're the best in the world. Health insurance, rentals in every part of the country, real estate in every part of the country, real estate law, shippers, mail forwarders, banking, buying a car, pets, getting your driver's license. We got drivers all across the country that can drive you around. Um, Veterans benefits. We got private schools. We got, oh, there's more and more and more. Like I say, hospice, all that stuff. So that is what we do. It is retireinpanamatours.com. Don't forget who we are. And folks, as we have said, this is I'm not going to say Canadian only, but definitely when the Canadians are done, because this was marketed for Canadians. I know some of you come every Thursday, but just put up with the Canadian questions first. We're going to go over some specific things here and start asking your questions in the chat, folks. Anything relative to moving to Panama or while living here. And as we go through everything, I will talk about the different aspects of moving to Panama as a Canadian. We had a question earlier from Ian about, see, Panama has its own TV. If you order cable, you're going to get cable from South America, Latin America. It's going to be about 60% in Spanish and 40% about 40% of the channels are going to be North American channels that you can choose either the Spanish audio or the English audio. But still, like, yeah, I'm sure we have TSN, and if TSN was to carry some hockey games, but we certainly don't have stations like CTV, City, or CBC. So you have to look at other options. There are many, many different options. Some people buy the sports package. They, but you have to be, typically that has to be linked to a family member at home or something that's still there, that you can access the online part of that sport package to watch all those games. There are some legal IPTV options available in Panama. You're going to learn a few things. You're going to learn, number one, how to use a VPN, which is virtual private network. It's a service you use to make it look like you're somewhere else when you're online. So I get in trouble with Royal Bank if I don't use my VPN for my online, for my cell phone online banking app. Doesn't bother me with the computer, but for some reason, like, you can't even find the app in the app store, and you won't get an update unless you're using a VPN connected to Canada. They don't care. It's in their instructions. If you're out of the country, you can't see the app, so make sure you use a VPN. So there are your TV back home is available in different options. Most of us are streaming now. I don't have cable here. I could get cable. It's not expensive. Right now, my newest plan, because I moved earlier this year, it was $33 a month for 500 meg high-speed internet, or $45 for 500 meg high-speed internet and 200 TV channels. Now, the 200, like I said, the 200 TV channels, only about 80 of them, which are the U.S. networks, are going to be in English. There are no Canadian networks on there. There is the BBC, but there's no Canadian networks on Panama cable TV. So most people stream, and all your streaming services will work here. You need a VPN for some of them to work here, for many of them to work here, actually. So I use, it's kind of funny because I've used it forever and I can never, Surfshark. I'm going to type it in a comment. Surfshark. Been here 13 years. Nothing happened. Surfshark. I've been here 13 years. I've used every VPN possible. This is the one that I found that just works all the time. It's like $2.50 a month if you buy their 2-year plan. They've been in business forever. So that's it. So that's TV. Ruth, great question here. What are your thoughts on MiniMed? Ruth, I have been looking at MiniMed now for over 3 years. MiniMed's not new. It's been in Panama City. They were in David just after COVID and they closed after a year. Now they're reopening in David. Now, this is my thoughts on MiniMed. I hope no one's listening and wants to sue me. I believe they have excellent doctors. There's an excellent hospital in Panama City. Most of their clinics are centered around their specialists and hospitals in Panama City. So if you're living in Panama City or close, it's an option. What they offer is a $20 a month plan and then $10 a month for the spouse. But you really have to get their brochure and read it. There is so much small print; it's unbelievable. So what I believe it is, it's a sales funnel. It's a open end. Let's lose some money in doctor's visits. Let's give those away for free. Let's do some certain tests for free. And when people get sick, they'll go to our specialist and end up in our hospital where they pay full price or 15% less. Just 1 second here. Oscar always forgets. Okay. He's dealing with the group right now and he just sent me a message. And yes, you get all the doctors, all the GP visits you want in a month for your $20. Your specialist, they claim you can get specialists. Only 6 disciplines are actually covered in that. And all the other 50 of the other ones, you get 15% off. You get free transport between a MiniMed center and the hospital in greater Panama City only, not from Coronado, not from the outskirts, stuff like that. So if you are in Panama City and you have a condition that you need to see a doctor a lot, maybe it's worth it because doctors are even more money in Panama City than they are in the country. Here in the country, they're between $15 and $25 to see a private GP. In Panama City, they start around between 35 and 50. So I see a use for it for some people, but way out here in David, no, I honestly don't, because you get a bunch of doctor's visits, and if you need to go to a doctor 3 times a month, every month, yeah, might be, but it's just not going to be worth it. Okay, Oscar says sorry. So that's my MiniMed talk. Okay. Hi, Lois. How are you? Real estate. There's no website in Panama of all properties for sale. Real estate. Is it available? There's no, well, Lois, I'm not sure where you're hearing misinformation from, but there's a lot of it on the internet. I just posted in the chat Panama's MLS. Now, if a realtor's not on Panama's MLS, there's a reason why. And that's all I can say. So Panama does have an MLS, has had an MLS since 2018, I believe is when this one officially set up. There was one before, but it wasn't that good. This site has an English option at the top, and it basically lists all properties. But please, folks, if you're shopping for a home in Panama in a specific area, find your realtor first. And if you go to an MLS and if it's another realtor, stop, go save the link, go back to your realtor. Hey, I want to see your property. Let the realtor work for you. You don't need 15 realtors. There's nothing worse than that. Mm-hmm. Okay, James, what is the average square foot cost to build a house? Well, I can't tell you that, James. I can tell you the average square meter house. This is a Canadian call. Just kidding. I'm bilingual when it comes to feet, and between $80 and $160 a square foot. depending what you're looking for. $80 is fairly basic construction, fairly Panama style. There won't be any granite countertops and stuff like that. 130 is a good average for something North America. 160 with your very high end stuff. I'm a, I was going to say Michelle. Michelle, I would set up your VPN at home, get used to it, play with it. For you guys not using a VPN, I've used a VPN for many, many years, 20 years. You should never go to a coffee shop and connect to their Wi-Fi without a VPN on. That's how your data is stolen. And more North America than Panama, we don't have that level of sophisticated crime down there. But in every Starbucks you go to, I would never join a Starbucks shared network without a VPN on. So. Okay. So Lynn, not sure where you're from, Lynn. I think I saw your name early. To qualify for residency, the easiest way is with the pension adult visa. You must be receiving a lifetime pension over 1,000 US dollars, or about 1370 right now, Canadian dollars a month. That can be from Canada Pension Plan. That can be a combination of Canada Pension, Old Age Security. It can be a private pension, a teacher's firefighter, your place you worked, the private company you worked for 30 years. So it can be anything. So that is the way most retired people move to Panama. The second option for you non-retired people would be the Friendly Nations visa. And that is three options. Number one, it requires you to have a job offer and get a work permit and have a job from a Panamanian company. Number two, a 200,000 US dollar investment in either real estate or a bank deposit. So those are the two most popular visas. I'm going to get into healthcare in a second here, Lynn, because I've seen a few of that. Well, how long is the flight? From airport to airport, 45 minutes, 110, 120 each way. Brian, I don't know what I've been trying to say U.S. and Canadian dollars, so I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Okay. There we go. What Panama banks work with Canadian banks? Do they have deposit insurance limit? Hey, Lynn, all Panama banks will technically work with a Canadian bank. There are no Canadian banks doing business in Panama. So it's international. It's an internet. You move money through international wire transfers. So using what's called a SWIFT, the SWIFT code system. So my bank in Panama, for example, one of them is Banco General, and its SWIFT code is BGPA. No, I can't remember. BAGA Papa, or something like that. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's 8 characters. And then so from your Canadian bank, you log in, send an international wire transfer. They're going to ask you for the SWIFT code, your account number, your name, address of the bank, just like when you do a bank-to-bank wire. So that's how that works. Do they have the deposit insurance? Technically, no. I should say technically, yes. The government insures bank deposits up to $10,000. But if the whole world collapses, the government has to. But we don't have like an FDIC or a Canadian Deposit Insurance Corporation in Panama because banks just are very strong here. Banks haven't failed to the point of in modern times to the point of where a consumer has lost money. So banks are required to keep 5 times more in the vault than North American banks are. They're very, very strict on giving out mortgages and any type of credit. If you can't afford it, you're not going to get a loan. It's really strict, folks. Mhm. So if you wanted to come down here, it doesn't matter what credit rating you had in Canada. You have zero credit rating in Panama. So after a couple years, and even if you had a good pension, if you tried to get a mortgage in Panama, they're going to want probably 40% down. And interest rates are comparable in to the U.S. in Canada in that 6% range. Mhm. And savings rates are better. That's why I don't understand, because why aren't savings rates 3 and 4%? Megan just sent me over a flyer of 5 banks that are offering 5%, up to 5%, between 4.5% and 5% on savings, and Bank of Henry is one of them, on savings of $10,000 or more. So definitely, it's good for savings. Mm-hmm. Lynn McKay, during COVID, no vaccines were not mandatory. Panama signed up for it. I don't even know what that means. Vaccines weren't mandatory. They weren't mandatory even if you were coming in as a foreigner. You had to have a test, not a vaccine. Okay, Lynn, from Toronto, don't have a company. I don't understand what that means. If you're talking about the job, you have to be hired by a Panamanian company. Domika, how are you? I know you're not allowed to work when you're on the retiree visa. That's the whole idea of the pensionado visa and why they're so generous with it, because they know you're not taking jobs from Panamanians. And when I say work, I mean doing a job, like taking a job from a Panamanian. If you want to work from home, you want to work remotely, that's not an issue whatsoever. You just can't go out in the workforce and take a job from a Panamanian if you're on a pensionado visa. Okay, Margaret. Rod, are you talking American dollars for the bank? If you're asking um, the only thing I talked in dollars was the Friendly Nations visa, and I said 200,000 US dollars required. So if I missed something else there, please let me know, Margaret. Can I apply for my CPP after leaving Canada? Well, yeah, you don't have to be physically in Canada to apply. You're not going to tell Canada. Most people don't say, hey, government, I've left the country. There's no need to. You're still receiving your checks in your bank accounts. So if you have enough between the two of you, to apply for residency, and one of you isn't receiving yet, then the spouse, like one of the spouse, can become the applier, and the other one can be the dependent. Like it doesn't matter. Like if Mary is getting more than the required amount for two of you, which is 1250 US or 716 something Canadian, if she's getting that, you can come in on her visa as the dependent, and then you apply for CPP when you're ready to apply. Oh yeah, eSIMs work well here. I like Airlo only because I've used that many times. AI Airlo. I always spell it wrong, so I'm just going to put it in the chat. Oh my God. Sorry for that big link. I copied the Google search link, guys. It'll still work. It's just big and ugly. So yes, you load it up before you get down here. Usually you buy 30 days or 7 days or 10 days, whatever you need. As soon as you walk off the plane, turn your phone on, and it'll say, welcome to Panama. Mm-hmm. And that's for data, obviously. Mm-hmm. The good thing about living in Panama, if you're deciding to move here and you're going to travel back and visit, there are two main cell phone companies in Panama. One's called Tigo and one's called Mass Mobile. You see their logos plus mobile, people call it Mass Mobile. And on any of their plans over $28 a month, you get unlimited international roaming in all of the Americas. I'm seriously, from Canada to Chile. So when you go back, your phone will roam and it won't cost you anything more. And yeah, I said it right, $28 a month, folks. That's got to be your biggest cell phone bill you will have here. Mine's 22. I don't travel to the US a lot, so I can buy $5 a day roaming, and I just do that instead. Okay. Oh, Richard, honestly, our service starts before you move here. There's going to be like so many things that you need to do. You need to retain your lawyer before you come here to make sure you get all your paperwork right. Do you realize how many people have bring wrong paperwork, the wrong stamp? It's got the wrong date format on it. It's got the signature that doesn't match. Just wrong, and they got to go back or they got to figure out how to do it without going back. So people that we work with who have been on our tour or buy the total access pass, we're working with you and everything. You want to set up your phone. You Canadians, there's a system you could use. Well, I'm going to tell you the company's Fongo, Fongo, that you can port your existing cell phone to an app-based phone that doesn't require a SIM card and just needs data, and keep your number. In 95% of the cases, keep your number, and that way you won't lose your ability to do bank codes and stuff like that. So. And so we help with stuff like that. We help with packing, moving your stuff, what to bring, what not to bring. So. No, you can combine pensions. Great question, Ellen. So let's say you have two Canada pensions, and each one is 1,100 Canadian dollars. You combine them, you got 2,200 Canadian. So it works out. You got to be a married couple to do that. Margaret, I hate the heat. I would die in the heat. I love the city. It's great. Got lots of friends that live there. But if I go there, 2 hours, I'm out. I'm up here in Boquete. Why? It's not that we promote Boquete on the tour. Yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to be here for a day and a half. But it's the only place in the country where it's 15 degrees at night and 25 degrees during the day, every day of the year. What city, town, two of them, the Coronado area and the Boquete area? Probably Panama City too, but here's the issue with Panama City. Not as much. Um, the issue with Panama City, they might have more expats, but you just won't see them. because Panama City has a population of 2 million people. It's the size of Vancouver, size of Greater Toronto, and a bit. But so even if there is 10,000 expats there, you're not going to see them every day. But if there's 5,000 expats in Coronado and 5,000 expats in Poceti, we see them every day. Hey, Karen, good question. Yes, I can. Let me bring this up. Wise. Okay. I don't have a screen by screen. So for you Canadians that move here and anyone that's moving money between Canadian and US funds, you should be using this company, wise.com. You open up a Wise account and you open up both a Canadian account and a US account. They're going to ask you to deposit $20 on your credit card into each one. It's your money. It doesn't cost you anything. You get to keep it. And they are literally bank accounts. The People's Trust, I believe, is the bank that they use in Canada. And I never looked at the name of the bank. I just know my account number. So you can move money from your Canadian account to your Wise Canadian account for free. You've got several options. Number one, email money transfer. Everyone's got different limits, but my limit with Royal Bank is $8,000 a day on email money transfer. I could do bill pay, which is $15,000, or I could just send a wire if I was moving lots of money. And the biggest thing with Wise, I'm going to increase the size of this a little bit. Oops, did that wrong. I just went to full screen. You can go full screen on your side too. There we go. The biggest thing with Wise is the difference in conversion rates. Wise charges 0.5% fee to convert your money. Okay. Now, most banks, look here, right here. I did this with my Royal Bank. So when I was doing this transfer, the rate was 75.5 for Wise, and it was 73.8. So that is 1.3% higher than what more money. So for every $1,000, they were taking $13 more. The Royal Bank as opposed to Wise. So once you have the money shows up, like you sent the money to Wise in your Canadian account, then you move the money, you hit the transfer, and you move the money to your US account, and it'll show you what the rate is. So you'll save a ton of money there. And now the time is you set up recipients. See on the left here, you open that up and use international recipient. It's going to ask for your name, your SWIFT code number of your bank, your bank account number. And as soon as you enter the SWIFT code, it knows all the banks. So it'll pull up, multi-bank, Panama, blah, 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 and the address. And it just needs your name as it is on the account and the account number. So for me, if I was to send $5,000, wire $5,000, let's say to my Banco General account, Wise will charge me $12.95 to send that wire. Banco General charges me $18.50 to receive. So that's $31, I think. So it costs you $31. If I did it from Royal Bank to Banco General, it would cost approximately $100. It'll cost $45, but Royal Bank has a different plan now. Depending on what plan you have, they can offer you so many discounted wire transfers. Every bank is different, so you got to sit down with your bank and figure out what's the cheapest way. But typically, Wise is going to be the cheapest way. But that's what Wise is. Okay, I keep hitting the wrong buttons here. Usually, I have Megan helping me control this. Oh, there I am. And I'll have another one. Can I? Oh, yeah. Okay. Is cannabis legal? Nope. It absolutely 100% is not medical and not recreational. Medical has been passed in the government. It is not, they have no dispensary, so you can't buy your weed off a guy in a back alley and show your Canadian um, license to use it. Well, they don't need those anymore, but no. People do that here, by the way. Thanks to the U.S. folks, they bring down the marijuana license to think they could use it. So, yeah. So it is not. They have authorized, but through the government only, some cancer patient use. So I'm not sure who's growing it. They have awarded the contracts to build the facilities to grow. So it is processing. So we feel within 2 years, probably, medical marijuana will be available. Okay. What documents? Question, Gordon. Let me bring this up again. Banking. I'm sure banking's on. There we go. Now, if you take a look at this here, and I got to move all that away. And let me move that big banner. Sorry. There we go. Now, not all banks will require all of these documents. Just be prepared. Proof of income. That can be your pension letter or the last 2 years of your T4s. A reference letter from your bank. Banks get freaked out about it, but hey, just say, I want a letter to whom it may concern. Make it out to me, I don't care, that says, John Doe has banked at this bank for 12 years and has a checking account in good standing. That's all they want to see. Now, you will probably, most banks are still asking for, if you don't have residency yet, if you're only in the process, a letter from your lawyer stating that you're in the process of immigration. Some banks require you to be living here. So they require some type of residential lease, home purchase agreement. One of our banks only requires our guests to, if they say, because we know them very well, that Oscar, Rod, and Megan are helping me or helping Judy find a apartment to live in Boquete, that type of thing. Sometimes they want a personal reference letter from somebody local here. And they usually want a initial deposit. Some banks are $100, some are $15. So find out from the bank. There's many of them. The exact requirements are in your members area for you guys that have been on the tour. Now, most of them require you to apply in person with the docs. Some banks offer you the chance to open an account online. But remember, if you open that account online, you're going to have a limited profile bank. Banco General does, Banesco does. It's going to be a limited profile. You try to do anything big, like send money here for a car, send 10 grand or anything, they're going to send you an email, bring in all the rest of the documents, and please come in and sign some paperwork and give us a sample of your DNA. Not quite, but... So that's what's required for banking. Ooh. And how easy it? I think I basically that's it. It's as easier than a foreigner trying to open up a bank account in Canada. I'll tell you that much. So, Al, good question. Are you able to use cryptocurrency for real estate purchase? I have known 2 people. One 8 years ago and one just last year that have purchased with it doesn't matter the funds. You don't need to show proof of funds to any government efficiency here. Once you get past the taxes are paid, your lawyers, everyone's happy, how you settle the funds is irrelevant. Like if you're buying, let's say you're buying, recently one of our guests bought a home from another Canadian who after 20 years moved back to Canada for health reasons. And they settled up in Canada, and that's perfectly legal. So yes, you can use cryptocurrency. Yeah, Neil. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, weed's not legal. Hookers are. Typical months. They're all over the map, Barry. All over the map. Not as much as I was paying in Canada. Where there's more is the on credit cards and debit cards. First of all, our interest is much lower on credit cards. It's not like 29%. And so the fraud is an additional charge. I think mine is around $2.30 a month. My debit card fraud insurance is $1.50 a month. The bank has an annual online access fee of $20. But it's a savings account. You don't need a checking account down here. No one wants your checks anyways. So there's really not. The interest is way more than my charges. Okay. Hey, Ellen, how much luggage do people usually bring on a 7-day tour? You're allowed. There, you're allowed one small backpack. No, just kidding. Each person is allowed one carry-on size, like whatever fits into the giant jet's overhead bin. If you're staying longer, that's no problem. We have the ability to hold in Panama City or move big bags up to Boquete if you're staying here. So, hey, Jamie, are there exemptions for? No, there's no exemptions, but don't worry about it. That exemption is very irrelevant. Personal household goods are considered used goods. Okay. So that's a bunch of fluff in the. I'm sorry, the Panama government had a sales department putting together the discount flyer. $10,000 exemption on personal goods. Well, if you were to buy a house here and order a container full of Ashley furniture from the States and ship it here, yeah, it would be worth it. You would get all that stuff because that stuff is valued high. But my God, you got a container. Most people value their container at $1,000. It's my personal stuff. It's not really relevant. Okay, yes, that is a power outage, folks. And the power, my backup came on. So, yeah. Now, which month is better to do the tour? There really is no better month. If you're really planning on living here, and you are going to do outside of the summer, our tours are always full and sold out. January, February, March, April. That's because that's where all of you guys go to head south for the winter, right? But the rest of the time is great because the guys that come January through April probably will never see a drop of rain, but the rest of the year it rains. So don't get misinterpretation that, oh, it's beautiful, hardly ever rains. That's because it's February. Now the rainy season starts at the end of April and goes until the end of November, and it's progressive. Right now we're in the middle of we're in the rainy season, but we've had this week one day with a heavy rain shower. Last week we had two, and that's typically what it's like. 1 to 2 days with a heavy rain shower in the afternoon, and the rest of the time it's not raining. And that progresses to 3 to 4 days by September. And in October, November, it can be up to 5 days. Like you're going to see rain almost every afternoon. So if you want to see less rain, September. So you mean I can't take one suitcase? I'm on the July. I'm coming in visit from Mexico to Panama. I'll have one piece of checked luggage. Yes, it's okay, Lois. If you're traveling, we'll make the arrangements. If I'm sure you have a carry-on too. We're in Panama City because we stay there until the Saturday morning. And if we have to ship it, you're going to be without it for 2 days, and I'll get it to you on Monday. And yeah, just pack what you need for the weekend and Monday in your carry-on. So yeah, so don't worry, we'll look after your luggage. Yes, we do supply umbrellas. So, is one still likely to find good, decent, safe housing in Panama City? I don't know if it's still likely. I've never seen that price because you're talking $350 to $700. Um, there's decent housing in Panama City, but because you said in PTY, so you're talking the city. That's the most expensive housing. But it's not overlooking an ocean. It's in the more congested, bigger areas of the city, and it's going to be Panama style. It's going to have a washing machine, but no dryer. It's going to have a kitchen with a countertop about this big, stuff like that. And you can get those for 600, 700 in decent neighborhoods. Hey, Brian. No, you do not have to return to Canada to maintain your citizenship. You can renew your passport here. I'm doing that this year. I haven't been back to Canada for 6 years. I can't wait to go back. I'm going to add up the number of days because they always ask you, how many days have you been gone? I want to say 3,000, like whatever the number is. But yeah, no, you don't have to. Oh, it's gonna like in that price, Angela, in the city, it's not gonna be anything like you probably. Well, I don't know what you can find besides small town Canada for $700 a month with a 2 bedroom, um, kitchen, fully appointed bathroom. And if you mean fully appointed, you're not gonna find a bathtub. Panamanians don't soak in bathtubs, folks. It's 90 degrees outside unless you're up in the mountains. As people up in the mountain, we have more bathtubs. But still, I don't think I've had a house with a bathtub yet. So, what else? All Canada. What else? All Canada did I miss? Let's just go through. In the beginning, we talked about healthcare. I thought, oh yeah, I wanted to jump into healthcare. That was one of my biggest concerns. I was young though when I moved here. I was 47, and I thought healthcare was free in Canada. Well, the reason I was moving here because I was paying ridiculous amounts of taxes, so it really wasn't. And so I moved down here, and I got a international healthcare plan that paid 100% with $1,000 deductible of outside of hospital staff. So that would be meds, doctor's visits, stuff like that. I was paying my first year $108. I thought, oh my God, here's the difference. I can see my doctor this afternoon if I want to. If he says I need a specialist, that will be booked within the next 3 to 5 days. If that specialist says I need surgery, that'll also be done in the next 3 to 5 days. So I didn't mind paying that. So then I got old. Health insurance goes up typically every 5 years on the big international plans. So I turned 60 now, but I'm paying $248 a month for that same plan. And I'm still extremely happy with it. It's excellent service, private hospitals, private doctors. I never have to, if I have an accident or if I have a hospital stay or anything, it's 100% coverage, nothing out of pocket. I've never used my deductible because how do you do that on $15 doctor's visits? So, yeah. And my insurance, since someone just mentioned, I was just going to talk about the age. Then there's another health insurance that's international, that's local, which is much cheaper. It's for someone 60 is about 125, and it only covers 70% of the cost of your medical care here. You pay 30%. So and it's also available for older folks because the international plan you have to be under 75 to enroll. If you enroll before you're 75, you have it for life because I'm never going to lose mine as long as I pay my premiums. But you have to be under 75 to enroll. The other local plan, one is offered, there's two of them. One is in Santa Fe Hospital in Panama City, and one is a little more for us expats that live in Coronado or Cherokee. It's called Family Medical Care by Pan Pacific Life. And yeah, they're like 125 in your 60s and then your 70s, but 165. There are 24 names of health insurance companies. Which one were you talking about, Michelle? The the international insurance or the local insurance? Yeah, your health insurance can contain your medication if that's part of your deductible. See mine right now, but if it's your current medication, don't forget health insurance outside of North America does not cover pre-existing conditions. So if you're already taking a medicine, that's not going to cover it. Your health insurance is not going to pay for something you're already taking. It's going to pay for stuff that comes up. Okay. What about dental? Dental care is very affordable in Panama. It's not covered by insurance, except if it's emergency dentist. But it's like $35 for a cleaning done by the dentist. $50 cavities, fillings, um, root canals starting at a couple of hundred. So it won't break you. Our jelly. You know the best thing about my health insurance is I've never used it. But that being said, in the business I'm in, I've been involved in many hospitals, helping guests, helping people that live here and stuff like that. And I know what the healthcare was like in Canada. I lost a sister and two parents in Canada's healthcare system, which should never have happened, but it is amazing here. Like it is the type of stuff. Quick examples. We had a guest, one of our past guests living here, broke his hip, and he was with us when this happened. So we got an ambulance, got him down there. He had a surgery the next day because they had to 3D print him the parts in Panama City and fly him out. He had two surgeons. He was in there 5 days. Both his surgeons gave them his cell phone number when he left. And the whole process, and once he saw all the bills, was about $7,000 for the surgeries and the hospital and the 4 days in the hospital. Hi, Michelle. I use MAPFRE, MAPFRE. It's very popular, one a month expats, and so is Worldwide Medical. But if you guys want, we have a place on our website, retireinpanamatours.com. If you look at on the other section, we'll introduce you. Don't go buying health insurance yourself. The absolute worst thing you can do. You know what? First of all, if you go for a trusted agent, the price will be the same, maybe even a bit cheaper with the agent. They get paid by the company. And all the rumors and myths out there that the agents take 40%, that's all a bunch of crap, folks. You can prove it. Prove me wrong. Get a quote from one of our trusted agents, and then a week later, get a quote off the website. You'll find it's the same. But what happens if you're here and you don't speak the language, and your doctor tells you you need a heart stent? So that's not an emergency. So you're going to need to get all this pre-approved. Do you want to deal with all the Spanish paperwork? Nothing's in English here, folks. Like in your doctor's going to speak English, probably most of the nurses will, but the paperwork, the insurance companies, they're all going to be in Spanish. You need an agent that works for you because she wants you to renew next year. That's how she makes a living. So if you go to the website, retireinpanamatours.com, turn the banner on again. Click on more link. You'll see different help. Like we'll give you a referral to somebody to help you out. Whoever's posting links, I'm sorry, I'm deleting anything in the chat. We do so have a 911. Or, Neil, don't tell people that. We have private 911 service here. It's not 911, obviously. It's the first button on my phone when I bring up my dialer. I pay $90 a year for a 24/7 bilingual service that knows where I live by location, that knows who my pet sitters are, that knows what they. You're not reading our site, Neil. You're reading some false information online. Don't worry, we'll get you all straightened out. That they know Oscar and Megan's my contact. They know who my family doctor is. They know any medical conditions because I filled out this huge profile. And I call them 24/7 if I need an ambulance, a fireman, fire truck, a policeman, if somebody ran into a power pole across the street, or if I'm out somewhere and someone's having a choking and I need an ambulance in a restaurant, I can call them and I can communicate with them. And we have one in Boquete and there's one in Coronado. So we do. And yes, we do have 911 now. It just got distributed through David and Boquete, but it's all in Spanish. And we don't have addresses, so it's all done by cell phone. Even though they use landlines, you can't even send them a PIN. You got to describe to them where you live. It's fine in the city, it usually works. But out in the country, it's difficult. Okay, so that's healthcare. And we talked about opening a bank. We're talking about, this is a huge one, guys. Fongo. I know what you guys are paying. What are you guys paying for your cell phones in Canada? Type it in the chat. So Fongo is going to cost you $18 a year for unlimited texting, and that's it. You can call Canada for free, and anyone in Canada can call you for free. Okay. And a plan here is going to cost you anywhere between $22 and $28 a month. That will be a month, and that will be the extent of your phone. So, okay. Ian, your book is in production. Okay, yeah, I'm going to talk, before we go here, I'm going to talk to our past guests. Anyone who missed the email, I went out to everyone that's booked a tour with us, but if you have changed your email or maybe the wife used her email and you're not looking for it there, please get a hold of us. So we have, you get your membership area set up if you're a past guest for free, obviously, for the Panama Total Access Pass. And you get to order a book at the cost of printing and shipping. Now, our book printer, it's a little challenge. I'm putting a link in the chat to the tours people are asking for. Due to all these tariffs and stuff that many people were printing outside of the country, they're now printing digitally here, and they're about a week behind. So that 2 weeks I told you guys, it's probably going to be 3. So, someone asked, who's the 911? Here in Boquete, it's called Rodney Direct, and that's RODNY direct.com. And in Coronado area, it's called PanamaHelpline.com. All right. Who is it? Bullion dealers in Panama. Are we allowed to bring ours down? Oh, yes, you're allowed to bring your precious metals down. We have someone that helps, brings everything from coins and gold and physical stuff like that. All right. So next week, I don't know what Megan has planned. She's looking at it. Look out in the Sunday email for it. Her and Oscar are doing the Q&A. Yeah. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you all for enjoying and joining me tonight. It was great. I hope we got some of your questions answered. But really, get on the tour, get in the total access pass, and send us an email if you're on our tour and you're not set up yet for the Panama Total Access Pass. It's very handy to have, especially when you're doing your moving research at midnight and Oscar, Megan, and I aren't answering your texts. All right, folks. Good night, everyone. Have a great evening.